I grew up on a dead-end street in a place called Stamford, Connecticut. It was a very, very boring town in Fairfield County. And by boring, I mean a great place to raise your kids because nothing ever happened there. It was so boring that as kids, we had to make up monsters and pretend to be in danger just to get some excitement. Now, Fairfield County is a very wealthy community, but we were not wealthy. Very working class, very blue collar. When I was young, my mom was a homemaker. She would cook and sew clothes for us kids to help make ends meet. And I hardly remember a time when my dad didn't have at least 2 jobs. My parents taught me work ethic. I grew up hearing and believing you can do anything. You can be anything, even the President of the United States, if you put your mind to it and work hard. So I managed to go away to college and earn my bachelor's degree. And later I went to earn a master's degree in 2000 from the prestigious Columbia University in the city of New York. 2 years before I graduated from Columbia, I got married on the back of a Harley Davidson motorcycle to my sweetheart. We got my dream dog, a German Shepherd. I named him Thor. He was in dog competitions. We bought a house right across from the ocean on the Jersey Shore. We owned a home in Redding, Connecticut with an in-ground swimming pool and tennis courts. And as one does, we had a pied-à-terre on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. So my first job out of grad school was rating U.S. municipal bonds for Moody's Investor Service. And while I was at Moody's, in our offices on 99 Church Street, they would put an easel on every floor that would show you which group was earning the highest profits and revenue. Quarter over quarter, it was the structured finance group. So I joined structured finance and began rating mortgage-backed securities. After Moody's, I got a job at a British investment bank. I was the lead risk manager in their newly minted business financing subprime mortgage-backed securities. I covered everything in risk management connected to the subprime debt capital markets, like derivatives, swaps, warehouse lines, payments, settlements, and financial analysis. We were closing billions of dollars in deals each month. And I had to understand, assess, and mitigate the risk of loss on every single one of those deals in the entire portfolio. The market was hot, and my schedule was crazy, and I loved it. On a monthly basis, I would travel from New York to California, Florida, Texas, to meet with our clients. Our company policy was that if you were flying over 4 hours or more, you had to fly first class. And if it wasn't available, you had to fly business class. And the company's official hotel was the Four Seasons, pinky up on purpose because that is a fabulous hotel chain, luxury hotel chain. I was flying high. The recruiters were blowing up my phone, as the kids say. But around 2008 and in 2009, I was hit with the old adage that what goes up must come down, and that includes me. Everyone who lived during the great financial crisis will remember that it was a global market dislocation. The market seized, the government stepped in, and everything in my business of securitization stopped. My job no longer existed, and I was rendered obsolete. So no first class, no Four Seasons, no recruiters, no nothing. I was finished. Around this same time, my mom was battling stage 4 breast cancer, and eventually she passed. My dog Thor fell ill. We couldn't figure out what was wrong with him, and eventually we had to put him down. My marriage was over. We filed for divorce, and I had to short sell my beautiful home in Connecticut with the in-ground swimming pool and tennis courts and move into a 450 square foot, 1-bedroom apartment. Well, I have to say that the loss of my mom hit hardest. Throughout my life, it was my mom that would speak words of encouragement to me, deliver pearls of wisdom, remind me that I am resilient, I must persevere, and I have to keep going. When I would get stuck because something was bad or something didn't turn out in my life like I wanted, my mom would say, in life, there are going to be stones on your path. You have to kick those stones out of the way and keep going. But now she's gone. In terms of my career, I was in disbelief. Initially, I didn't appreciate the scale and magnitude of what happened. I was depressed, angry, and stewing in my own juices of self-pity. I was scared. My career, many of my professional peers and friends had left the industry altogether to go through other things. But this was my thing. I loved it and I was good at it. This is what I do. But, the most dangerous part that kept me stuck for so long is that I defined myself by my career success. So without my career, who am I? I kept trying to be that person that I used to be, and that was just a huge mistake. And as mom would always say, you cannot drive forward while looking in the rear view mirror. Yeah, I guess I can't say that there was like an aha moment, but I do recall the words of my mom fueling my faith and tamping down my fear. I knew that what I was doing wasn't working, so out of desperation, I had to try something new. I had to let go of all of that. I had to realize that just because I had achieved something in the past, doesn't mean that I can't have all of that and more in the future. I literally wrote down all of my skills, my experience, and my accomplishments on a piece of paper. And I started to build the next chapter of my life. So my banking experience brought me to the FDIC, where I was a part of the freshman class that rolled out the Dodd-Frank Act. Then I married my banking experience to my regulatory experience and rolled that into my consulting career, where now I can help clients with risk and regulatory issues. And let me tell you, since the great financial recession, I have traveled all around the world. And yes, flown in first class, I've stayed in luxury hotels. I built back better. I took the pieces of my old self and built a beautiful new mosaic of my future. Yeah, I think it's believing that this too shall pass. She's right. It will pass, but it is up to you to determine how you come out on the other side. Let me tell you, resilience is the difference between someone who just accepts their situation versus the person who takes all of the broken pieces and fashions them into something new that realigns you and gets you moving towards the direction of your next achievement. Today, a lot of people are afraid of losing their jobs to AI or a robot. But let me tell you, you can't vanish if you reinvent yourself. Take a look at what's left and what works and add new things to it, like gaining a level of proficiency in artificial intelligence or AI, and repackage yourself, rebrand yourself. Wow, that is a great question. Success is not a one and done experience, it has a spirit of plurality. You're going to have many successes, but let me tell you something else. You are going to get knocked down. You are going to face challenges. But if God puts your feet on the floor in the morning, you have no choice but to put one foot in front of the other and keep going. Yeah, my final advice is you will win if you don't quit. And that is the key to resilience.